discussion.
Sure. So we've been having some good bipartisan conversations about WisconsinEye. My caucus cares a lot about this issue. We know how important it is for public access and for the media to make sure that we have coverage of what goes on here in the state capitol. So we have reached a tentative agreement to fund WisconsinEye, and we'll be putting out a bill shortly. It will be a bipartisan bill here in the Assembly, and we hope that the Senate will take it up soon. It will include WisconsinEye doing some fundraising to cover part of their operations as they have in the past, but it will also include an endowment. The interest will go to WisconsinEye each year so that they can fund the majority of their capital operations. We do want to ensure that there's access to everything going on in the Capitol. We hope that they will continue to increase their offerings as we move forward in terms of covering more hearings and committees. But this is a really good start. It's very important for the public to have access, and so we're optimistic that we're going to reach a bipartisan solution here soon.
Yeah, at a time when we don't always find consensus, it is nice that on something like transparency and open government, I think we're in sync, so thank you for that. Our intention is to also sign a short-term contract with WisconsinEye to broadcast our February floor period. So we would hope to keep them going so we have access for the balance of our session. We hopefully turns that into a longer-term contract or a longer-term agreement where we provide them limited funding, and I think it's a win-win for all involved. So happy to answer any questions.
Is the Senate on board? Is the Senate on board?
Well, you know, we had good discussions this morning. I think this is one of those cases where Greta and I probably are more in sync, right? I think they're still working through some of the details of how they'd like to work it, and that's why we don't have a finalized agreement. We wanted to get the bill out there, start the idea. If they have a different concept, we're certainly open to that, to finalize it. But I think, at least based on my discussions this morning, I don't know if you would agree, but I feel like all four of us are in a similar place. I think our caucuses would like to have some kind of access. It's just what's the best vehicle to do it that's most transparent and best for taxpayers.
So how much money is the legislature going to be giving to WisconsinEye, and what are the details of that bill?
So what ended up happening is, if you remember, in the budget there was a $10 million match challenge grant. What would happen with that is that $10 million would be put into trust fund. The interest that's accrued off of it from the State Investment Board would then be given to a revamped board of directors, which would have a few more folks on it, but still transparent and private.
What would they have to match? How much would the match have to be?
There isn't going to be an explicit match in this bill, but the interest from the trust fund is not expected to cover their total budget, which is a little over $900,000 annually. So there's an expectation that they would need to raise a few $100,000 a year, which they have said they are able to do, and optimistic about being able to meet that goal. There's a few other provisions we hope to include just around it, a little additional transparency into their operations and reporting to the legislature given the significant investment that we'll be making, but look forward to them being successful in the years ahead.
Right, and I think the other impetus that we talked about was, you might have saw in the news reports today, the court is also trying to figure out how they're going to broadcast their sessions. Well, the idea of having one network and one operation for the courts, another for the legislature, another for the executive branch, certainly is going to cost more than any amount we would give WisconsinEye. So they've already done a pretty good job. We're going to make sure that they're financially stable, and hopefully they can continue doing the work that they've already done. All right, thanks everybody. Appreciate your time. We'll be back at 12:30 with a different group. Thank you.
At WMTV, 15 News to your Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, or Google TV today, and never miss a moment of 15 News Plus.